Justin Verlander heading out to warm up as the Astros get ready to take on the Oakland A's to wrap up this 3-game series. Game 7 of this 10-game road trip. Astros have already wrapped up a winning road trip on this 10-gamer, going 6-0 to start in Texas and the first 2 here in Oakland. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us for another afternoon of Astros baseball. And Blummer, what a road trip it's been so far.
It has been extremely good, a lot of fun to watch, putting up some big numbers.
Offense has really come alive lately, and they've had a lot of stars in there up and down the lineup.
Yeah, the pitching's been pretty consistent all year long, but now we're starting to see flashes of 2017 when the Astros went out and were the best offense in the major leagues, and they're starting to put up some big numbers. They're doing it against some teams that aren't playing extremely well, but they have found the Oakland Coliseum to be the friendly confines, scoring almost 9 runs per game against these Oakland A's. A lot of it has to do with pitching. A lot of it has to do with the comfort that they do feel hitting here at the Coliseum.
Been fun to watch this offense going, and today, if they can score some runs, the guy on the mound doesn't need a whole lot, Justin Verlander.
Yeah, just put a number 1 up there. He's going to go out there and dominate. The fastball's been a great pitch for Justin Verlander all year long. Keeps talking about how he feels so good, so healthy, and that's a lot of reason why that fastball's been so effective. Not only in velocity, location, sets up some phenomenal secondary pitches that he's developed in that Houston Astro uniform.
So Verlander on the mound for the Astros against the A's. Frankie Montas will be back as Julian Morales will join us discussing the Astros going for 8 in a row.
I mean, they're just so dangerous. They're like sharks. They smell blood. Like I mean, you know, the minute you throw like an off-speed pitch and a hitter's count for a ball, or you don't come after somebody, I mean, it's like antenna goes up throughout the entire dugout. Like, whoa, we got this guy on his heels. Guys start communicating. They start talking about what he's throwing in certain counts, and then before you know it, 3, 4, 5 good swings, like, and you're in a hole. Your pitch count's out of whack, and there's 4 runs on the board. It's the toughest lineup to pitch to, I think.
Spoken like a pitcher right there, Garrett Cole. Very happy he does not have to face the Astros lineup, but thrilled to be a part of the Astros team, getting to see this offense up close. They go for the sweep today, and a big reason why, Evan Gattis. He had 5 RBI in the first game of this series, and what did he do? He followed that up with another 5 RBI performance, 2 career heights for him in this series so far. He's our HEB No Player Does More, and he said, you know, you just got to enjoy the good if you're going good, because if you're going to let yourself get frustrated with the bad, this is where it all counts. This is what makes it worth it. He's really happy to contribute to the Astros 7-game win streak. You're looking at his numbers, the 407 average, the 5 home runs. He had 2 of those last night. He is being a little more aggressive, guys, what he said as far as his approach goes, but he is sticking to everything that he's been doing since he got hot. But such a big reason why this team is having so much fun. The players could not be more happy for a guy like Evan Gattis, who was in a really tough spot earlier this year, really frustrated with the way things are going. It is the exact opposite right here in Oakland. TK.
All right, Julia, he is right back in that lineup today as we check out the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. At the very top is Alex Bregman for the first time this year. George Springer gets the game off. Bregman was in the leadoff role a couple of times last year. Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa hit 2 and 3. Yuli Gurriel cleans up and plays first base. Josh Reddick in right field. Evan Gattis will DH. He has been red hot, as Julia mentioned. Marwin Gonzalez, Brian McCann, and Tony Kemp round out your Astros lineup.
Frankie Montas is going for the Oakland A's. He's got some pretty good numbers on the season. He has 3 starts and he has 3 wins. He's done a great job getting deep in some of these ball games. He's got 14 strikeouts in those 3 starts also. He throws hard, averaging 95.5 miles an hour on that fastball, and he will throw it quite a bit, averaging around 81% of the time fastballs during his ball games that he's pitched. So the Astros need to be on their toes and ready to hit that strike in the zone.
First pitch.
We are underway on a sun-splashed Thursday afternoon, 67 degrees at game time. The Astros looking for a sweep of the A's and looking for an 8th consecutive win. Season-long 7-game winning streak for the Astros. Alex has a 10-game hitting streak going. He was given the night off last night as he grounds one off the mound towards Jed Lowry, and Lowry makes the play for the first out of the game. A starting defense presented by Xfinity. You saw Lowry on the right side of the infield. He's made just 1 error all year at second base. Matt Olson is the first baseman. On the other side of the diamond is Matt Chapman, the excellent third baseman, and Marcus Semien at short. In the outfield from left to right, Mark Canha, Dustin Fowler, and Stephen Piscotty. Jonathan Lucroy has started all 3 games in this series. Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve fouls one on just getting a piece of that pitch all the way back to the backstop. You heard that pretty clearly.
Yeah, that kind of jumped out at us, didn't it?
That'll wake you up. Astros and A's wrap up this 3-game series. The Astros starting the day with a winning streak, not only overall, but against the Oakland A's as well. Altuve softly hit towards short. Semien makes the play for out number 2. Astros with a 7-game winning streak overall, and also a 7-game winning streak against the A's. And they have taken the overall series lead for the first time in franchise history, 55-54 with that 7-game winning streak. Here's Carlos Correa. Correa coming back from missing that Texas series with a little soreness in his right side. Carlos has been on base 3 times in both games. Tripling a couple of walks last night, a homer, a single, and a walk in his first game back. Takes a pitch for a ball. Plummer mentioned the high percentage of fastballs that Montas will throw, but it's kind of switched up 2-seam, 4-seam. Used to be a lot heavier with the 4-seam fastball, and this year he is extreme on the 2-seam side. throwing 70% of his fastballs with a two-seam delivery. That ball's into center field, hit well by Correa. He's on base yet again. 7th time on base in this 3-game series for Carlos Correa. That's a nice return.
Good swing, nice piece of hitting. Montas trying to stay away from him, down and away, and Carlos just goes with it.
Batting in the 4th position.
LaCroix set up out there, pitch down there. Carlos just punches it right back towards that right center field area. That was a beautiful swing.
That'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. Yuli into center field, going back. Fowler still going back, and this ball bounces off the wall. Correa around third. He is going to score. Yuli Gurriel with the RBI double to get the Astros on the board 1-0.
Nothing makes Yuli happier than knowing he's going to face a guy that's going to throw a lot of fastballs. Yuli hunts the fastball and usually squares it up if he gets 1-2 hammer. Got one here, drove it to left center field. Big 2-out RBI. And we know that he is a very good hitter with runners in scoring position. On their MD Anderson strike zone, you can see the two-seam run at 97 miles an hour in on the hands of Yuli. Still quick enough and strong enough. Pull the hands in and launch it into that left center field gap. Looks like another afternoon where we're going to see the ball carry a little bit here at Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah, that ball really kept going out to left center field. Looked like initially Fowler might have a play on it. By the time he got to the warning track, he was watching it bounce up against the fence by the Rickey Henderson field sign. Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick with an RBI opportunity here with a runner on second base and 2 outs. Fouls one back.
It'd be good to see him get back in on the RBI mix like some of his compadres.
It's been in bunches for Reddick this year. He had a 2-home run, 5 RBI game in Chicago. Also had a 2-home run, 6 RBI game back at Minute Maid Park. 11 of his 18 runs batted in this year have come in just 2 games. Since that 2-home run game against the White Sox, where he had 5 RBIs, he's only had 3 runs batted in his last 30 games. Josh will always grind and will always enjoy hitting against his former team. 329 career mark against the A's. Two and 2 the count. Early on, we have seen that steady diet from Montas of fastballs. Up the middle, over the leaping Marcus Semien. Gurriel being sent home. Fowler's throw is cut off. Reddick caught between first and second, but he gets an RBI there to give the Astros a 2-0 lead. As the Stros played 2 in the first against Frankie Montas, Reddick and Gurriel with RBIs. It's the same one as the first game. The only difference from last night, Marcus Semien and Mark Canha flip-flop again in the order. The rest is the same. Chris Davis hit 2 home runs last night and now has 19 home runs, 48 RBIs on the year.
Justin Verlander going for the Houston Astros, trying to finish off this series in Oakland before they jump on a plane and head to Kansas City. In 14 starts, he has 8 wins. Miraculously, he has 2 losses with that 1.45 ERA, and he is extremely good on the road with a sub-1 ERA.
Coming off his worst road start of the season, he actually allowed 3 runs against the Rangers in 6 innings. But still with 45 2/3 innings on the road and only 5 earned runs. Swing and a miss. Verlander quickly ahead of Fowler 0-2. Verlander starts against the A's for the first time since the 2016 season. Hasn't pitched here in Oakland since the 13 season in regular season outings.
He's got some really good overall numbers in the regular season against these Oakland A's. 10 games he started, he has a 2.38 ERA, allowing an average of 192.
11th career start here at Oakland Coliseum. Pounding the strike zone early with fastballs. Now a breaking ball and Fowler stays alive. Fowler a better month of June. May was a struggle. 174 in the month of May, but he's hitting 333 this month. Astros giving their starting pitcher an early lead for the 2nd straight game. Last night it was a 3-0 lead as Garrett Cole took the mound for the first time, and today a 2-0 lead for Verlander. Last night the Astros tacked on 7 more in the 2nd. Fowler staying alive on some tough pitches in this first at bat. Still down in the count 1-2. Astros start the day half a game behind the Seattle Mariners in the American League West. Mariners starting a series tonight with the Boston Red Sox. In the air, center field. Tony Kemp is the center fielder today. Drifts back and makes the play for the first out.
Time now for our Ford Power Pitcher. It's brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Justin Verlander. These are the numbers that include the postseason against these Oakland A's. He has a 2.03 ERA in his career in Oakland, lowest at any park, minimum of 10 starts. He did some fantastic stuff in the postseason for the Detroit Tigers. Nothing like he did for the Houston Astros, but still some great numbers.
Pitch to Semien is a called strike. Semien batting .348 his last 6 games. On the season, Marcus is at .260. This ball in the air, sending Kemp back again. Makes the play for out number 2. Verlander, a fly ball pitcher, has got a couple of fly balls to start the game to Tony Kemp.
There's some of those playoff starts from 2006 to 2013 for Justin against these Oakland A's.
Lowry.
Undefeated, 1.24. His last 3 starts, 33 strikeouts.
Gets a swing and a miss from Jed Lowry. Lowry with a base hit last night. But still been battling it lately. He's 1 for his last 21. Still has the highest average coming in on this team at 280. Overall, the A's as a team coming in batting .241 on the year.
Lowry at one point this year was leading the American League in hits. And he has fallen considerably behind Jose Altuve, who now has 94 hits to Lowry's 73. A lot of guys have fallen behind to Altuve with his recent run. Altuve leads the American League with 95 hits and also second in the major leagues. Be a tough day for pop-ups. No clouds here and a very light sky. Try to hold up and he goes around. Alan Porter says that was enough of a swing. Lowry is a strikeout victim. 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. Well, here's the red-hot Evan Gattis, who set a franchise record last night. Leading things off for the Astros in the second. Swings to the first pitch and grounds one towards third. Matt Chapman makes the play. Gattis with back-to-back 5 RBI games for the first time in Astros history. But on one pitch, he's the first out of the second.
Batting in the 7th position, left fielder, number 9, Marwin Gonzalez.
Weather has been gorgeous here for this 3-game series plus the off day. Astros and A's playing at the Coliseum, where the Astros haven't lost a game this year. Houston swept the 3-game series back in May.
Look back at Marwin's evening, going back-to-back with Evan Gattis going oppo taco on a Wednesday evening. Fastball up and away, well struck, much to the delight of George Springer. A little extra sauce on that oppo taco.
5 home runs for Marwin, all left-handed this year. Grounds the 2-0 pitch foul. It's 2-1. Evo finding an Astros fan. That ball's hit hard and fair down the line. Marwin has extra bases. Digging it out is Piscotty, and Marwin might look for 3 as it gets past Piscotty. Very similar to the play we saw last night when Correa tripled down the left field line. This ball eluded Piscotty down the right field line.
Normally you see that to the guys in the gray uniform that come in and visit some of these ballparks. But down the line last night in left field, we saw Mark Canna box one off the wall, and now Marwin turning on a fastball in the inside corner, keeping it fair. Shooting it down that right field corner. It's Stephen Piscotty's turn to try and figure out the mysterious corners of Oakland Coliseum. One kick, two kick, right by him.
Marwin coming in, batting .400 against the A's this year. Ends up on third base with one out. It'll be a triple for Marwin Gonzalez. Brian McCann will bat with the infield in. One down and in.
Marwin turned on that one. He knew it was going to be extra bases right out of the chute, but what's great is the play's right in front of him, keeping an eye out there, and as soon as he sees it kick away, puts his head down and gets another 90 feet out of it.
Marwin now has a home run and a triple in 3 at-bats against Frankie Montas. McCann's only faced him twice, has a single and a walk. Not a lot of at-bats against this young right-hander. Hits it hard. Marwin coming down the line, and he will get hung up as Lowry makes the play, and they will tag out Gonzalez. McCann hit it hard, but hit it to the wrong spot, and that's the second out of the inning as Gonzalez is tagged out.
Almost hit it hard enough to get it past Jed Lowry. He hit hard, and you could see the play was on contact. We always see that with one out with a runner at third base. Third base coach, in this case Gary Pettis, will wander over to Marwin Gonzalez and he'll say, hey, we're going on contact, and that means anywhere that ball's put in play, you're going to, first step should be towards home, and unfortunately Lowry made the play on him.
So McCann reaches on the fielder's choice, and here's Tony Kemp. Takes the first pitch on the corner for a strike. Tony coming in batting .290 on the year. Had the night off last night. Jake Marisnick started and reached base 3 times, including a double and a home run. Astros winning last night 13-5. Ground ball towards Lowry. Ted makes the final 2 plays of the inning, and the Astros are out in the second. 1 man left on base.
Features a picnic buffet and autograph session with Astros players and family-friendly activities. All proceeds benefit local youth baseball and softball programs in the greater Houston area. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/picnic.
To the second inning we go. Chris Davis will lead things off against Justin Verlander. Davis swings and misses at a fastball. Verlander has been pounding the strike zone. 14 pitches into this game, he's thrown 13 strikes. Davis third in the American League with those 19 home runs, and also in the top 5 with 48 RBIs. And he drills one deep to left field, and this ball will be gone. That's his third home run in the last 2 games. In fact, it's his third home run in successive at-bats, and he has cut the deficit in half. It's now a 2-1 game.
Not a big guy either, but still creates a ton of power. That was a fastball that ran right back into what Chris Davis was trying to do, which is elevate. And he did so on a fastball down.
Second career home run for Davis and 4 at-bats against Verlander. And now Justin will face Matt Olson. Olson, first pitch swinging, pops one up. First test in the high sky will be Alex Bregman's, and he handles it with no problem. First out of the second inning. Olson now 1 for 31 this season against the Astros. They have done a good job neutralizing that power stick, and now they'll face the other Matt in the lineup, Matt Chapman. Chapman having a really good homestand. 10 for 18, 4 doubles and a home run. Had 3 of those doubles in the first game here on Tuesday night. Called strike. It's 1-1. These A's fans have seen this guy all too often in big situations end their seasons. The A's have only been to the postseason a couple of times in the last dozen years. And in both years, it was Justin Verlander finishing them off. 2012, Game 5. Here in Oakland, Verlander won a complete game shutout in a 6-0 win. The deciding game of that ALDS. Same thing happened in 2013. Verlander going 8 shutout innings as the Tigers eliminated the A's with a 3-0 shutout. Those 2 ALDSs, he allowed a total of 1 run in his 4 starts.
Sounds like fun.
So the A's, not many still around, but a lot of the fans have lingering nightmares of Verlander pitching here in the Coliseum. And that was the last time the A's played a postseason game, was that Game 5 against Verlander in 2013. So the wild card game in 14, but last one here in Oakland. They played in Kansas City in that wild card game. Chapman with a 1-2 count.
Somebody out there in right field that might remember a couple of those games.
Yeah, Josh Reddick.
Just glad to see him in the same uni.
He is thrilled not to have to face Verlander. Only Reddick and Lowry, the 2 guys in that lineup that are in the lineups for respective teams today that were playing in that 2013 ALDS against Verlander and the Tigers. Hey. Still some love for Josh Reddick, who was on the 50th anniversary team. Had his old green and gold jersey to commemorate that last time the Astros were in town. This is a pop-up. Correa backs up on it and makes the play for out number 2. After the home run by Davis, a couple of pop-ups.
It is a beautiful day here in Oakland. Weather in that mid-70s, but again, like Todd was mentioning earlier, the high sky, no clouds, makes it extremely tough. I've played a couple of day games here in left field and was absolutely miserable in perfect conditions for life, not necessarily baseball. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, if we could only bring this to Kansas City. Some of the reports coming out of Kansas City say it's going to be pretty warm.
No, it is perfect here.
Are you sure?
It's on the colder side than it is on the warm side.
Because you're in the shade.
Right. I try to stay in the sun.
Got a lot going on today, Julia.
I was going to say.
A little bit.
I thought you were going to go to the spa.
What?
You had such a rough day early on. I thought you were going to go relax a little bit.
I could use that.
Verlander ahead of Mark Canha 0-2. He wanted time, did Canha, and Verlander almost granted it himself by starting his delivery and stopping. Upstairs, it's 1-2. Justin making his 15th start of the year. Pitcher of the month of May, making his 3rd start in June.
Canha and Verlander trying to figure things out.
Swing and a miss. All he needed was a fastball to get Canha. Second strikeout, both times ending innings. Astros now lead 2-1.
If Julio Morales runs in an A's Legends race in August, which A's legend should she be? A couple of pretty good choices. The Eck, Dennis Eckersley, Riggy, or the great Raleigh Fingers. Some good choices. Make sure you go to @ATT Sportsnet SW and vote now in our Chevy Stroh poll.
Julia making a cameo during that Stroh poll. Hey, originally my first inclination was to vote Ricky because he's Ricky. But then the more I thought about it, that put a lot of pressure on you too. You'd be anticipating a guy that can just fly.
Right. I like the idea of being an underdog in that race.
So then you would have to choose between Raleigh or Eck as Bregman grounds one towards short.
It really is one of the most important questions we'll ask this season.
It's our most important Stroh poll of the year.
This was last night. So I've been curious about this race. We've been coming here. I started this in 2013. Astros moved over to the American League, and we watch this every night. And I can't wait to see if Ricky's going to win. He wins a lot. So we went behind the scenes, and I got to see the racers and how difficult it is to get those things on. Learned a little bit about it.
The heads weigh how much?
50 pounds. Strap you in and
Legit 50,
gotta
right?
put the uni on you and let you go.
If you haven't seen the race before, it's the Hall of Famers, Dennis Eckersley, Ricky Henderson, Raleigh Fingers. There they are warming up for last night's race.
And the racers are experienced runners, I learned. Lots of the training goes on. Maybe not for this race, but it definitely helps them.
Do you consider yourself an experienced runner?
Yeah,
Okay. So you could do this.
I think so.
Jose Altuve draws a one-out walk. Frankie Montas doesn't throw a pitch in the zone. Biggins says Eck was an idol that I looked up to when I was a kid, but if you're talking about running, Ricky's the one for Julia Morales. Julia doesn't like it when Julia can't find Julia's limo. Hashtag Ricky Henderson.
I really wanted Julia to get that tweet.
It's Ricky.
Oh, MC Hammer. Oh, I wish they had MC Hammer. The other thing is Ricky's around. It's a lot of pressure to run in the Ricky suit and then not win when he's watching. Nobody wants to disappoint Ricky.
Ricky never disappointed Ricky.
Ricky is very good at using the third person and the first person.
That's what Ricky said.
That's why the Julia Limo tweet was pretty good. Yeah, Ricky would probably be the favorite, I would think, in the poll, but I think that adds pressure to Julia to try and win the race. Is this going to happen, Julia?
I think so. I had to audition. So we're awaiting the word.
Foul the dirt. Now Altuve, such good awareness on the base pass, quickly heads to second.
You know, as much as we harp on this stadium and some of the issues, the people here, the way they treat us are absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the stadium itself, the infrastructure could use some help, but the people around here, some of the best we deal with around baseball. Carlos Correa singled his first time up, scored the Astros' first run as he came around on a Yuli Gurriel double. Pitch taken for a strike in the knees. Carlos batting .325 this year on the road coming into today. It's been a good series for him at the plate here in Oakland. 4 for 9 with 3 walks. And there's another base hit past Lowry. Around third comes Altuve. He will score. Correa an RBI base hit. And the Astros lead by 2 once again. It's 3-1.
Good job by Carlos. Hey! Get those RBIs. We talk about the RBI opportunities when these Astros are going well. They're a plenty, whether it be the walk or the base hit that they get on. And then you've got to do some serious work to navigate this lineup with guys in scoring position. Those numbers continue to rise on the season. But the Astros playing Astro baseball. They can get big and start launching the ball out of the ballpark, but they can also go out there and get some clutch hits.
Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli takes a fastball for a strike. Astros winning game 1 6-3, game 2 13-5, and they're out in front today 3-1. Yuli fouls one away. It's 0-2.
Ooh, almost got to put your sunglasses on for this one. During that 7-game win streak, against Oakland. It's almost 9 runs a game, 38 extra base hits at OPS up over 1,000. The runs scored. They have outscored the A's 62-17.
Out hit him 2-1 as well as Gurriel pops one up. Chapman fighting the sun, and he can't find it. Matt Chapman could not find it. Alex Bregman had an easier play earlier in this game, but he had the sunglasses on. Chapman electing to go without the sunglasses and never saw that baseball.
And just in watching the play, keep an eye on Chapman. Watch the glove, and the sun keeps coming into his eyes. He didn't do a very good job of keeping that glove in front of the eyes and really shading it so he could see it. Just wavering in and out. Eventually lost track of where it was. And again, I'm telling you, it is not easy to catch his pop-ups out here.
You surprised he's not wearing sunglasses?
Yes. And again, I mean, that's a guy who plays the majority of his games here.
When you played here, was always the glasses on, or was the flips?
I was a flip guy because I felt like the technology is obviously a little bit better, but I felt like the depth perception when I had the sunglasses on kind of screwed me up a little bit, just because I wouldn't catch the ball exactly where I wanted to. So I went with the flip downs, and every time that ball went in the air, the flip downs were on.
Yuli gets a second life here. It's 1-2. Tries to hold up and does on the breaking ball. It goes as a no play, no error charge to Chapman on that pop-up that he lost in the sun.
And that's the thing about flip downs too. You don't see them around too often these days. But if you don't like having them in a fielding position on the infield, you don't have any other option, it seems like. That's why I use the flip downs, because I wanted to see the ground ball better. But if the ball got in the air, man, and I needed the protection, flip those things down.
2-2 the count. We saw Simeon earlier with the shades, and Ed Lowry as well. So his infielder mates, including Matt Olson at first base, all going with the shades. Tough day. This is one of the toughest areas for pop-ups, especially without a cloud in the sky. 3-2. It's a lighter blue. You get that little reflection off the water. Not only did the pop-up give Yuli a second life here, but it's also extended some pitches here on Montas. The count's full. See if Carlos is moving here with 1 out. He is. Yuli swings and sends a high fly ball to left field. He got under this one, though, as Canna has a play for out number 2. New championship gold gear and merchandise is now available at the Astros team store, including McCullers, Peacock, and Morton jerseys. Visit astros.com/team store for hours and information. Josh Reddick bats. Josh with an RBI single his first time up. And he hits the ball hard. Fowler coming in and makes the play. Line drive off the bat of Reddick, but at the A's center fielder. Astros add to their lead. It's 3-1.
I got it.
What?
I've got it.
Who am I? Only 2 clues. Normally we're 3.
That's all it takes. I could have done this with 1.
Yeah, that's too easy.
Yeah.
Which one would you have needed?
The first one, buns. And it has nothing to do with the bread crisis in Houston.
Buns in O Canada. Send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Here's Stephen Piscotty. Piscotty, Jonathan Lucroy, and Dustin Fowler for the A's here in the bottom half of the third in a 3-1 game. First pitch swinging and fouling one back. Piscotty hit a 3-run home run in last night's game against Garrett Cole. Part of 4 runs allowed by Cole and a couple of home runs. Justin allowing 1 hit so far through 7 batters. Coming in, holding opponents to a 157 batting average. That's the best in all of baseball. This is upstairs and the count's 2-1. The A's at an even 500 coming in, 34-34. Does not like being in this American League West this year. They are 10-23 against their division and 24-11 against everybody else. One pitch is fouled away. It's 3-2. That looks pretty good.
It's not quite the shave ice you're probably used to.
Love me some shave ice.
Shave ice is really good. But you're right. That would actually be effective today. For us, not so much Julia, but for us. It's a little warm for us up here. It's scalding 70 degrees.
Yeah, in the sun today, it's brilliant. Most people are in shorts and short sleeve shirts. Julia's in a parka.
Well, I thought it was funny the off day that we had here. We stay over in San Francisco and we got to go play golf. When we left the hotel, it was like 75 and sunny. You were asking if you should bring a jacket.
Yeah, a sweatshirt. Yeah,
I had one. I've got some veteran experience up here. We went about 6 miles to the west and it's about a 15-degree change.
Line drive off the bat of Piscotty, thinking about going for 2, but Kemp cuts it off nicely and he'll hold up with a single.
Houston Methodist is going to bring us some league leaders. Highest road winning percentage versus division opponents since last season. Of course, the Houston Astros on the road and in division adds up to some pretty good numbers. A .754 winning percentage. The Cleveland Indians, Red Sox, and Twins right behind that. The Twins and Indians taking advantage of that American League Central. Boston, a little bit tougher division out there in the American League East, doing a great job.
Called strike. Jonathan Lucroy, the number 9 batter, celebrated a 32nd birthday yesterday. Catching all 3 games, although he was lifted in last night's game after a couple of at-bats in a lopsided Astros lead. And another strike boarded there. Verlander ahead 0-2. Justin making start number 15 on the year. There's a very good chance he will leave this game with his best 15-game start to any season in his career, including his Cy Young Award and MVP season. Swing and a miss, foul tip caught by McCann. That's 3 strikeouts for Verlander, and he makes quick work out of Lucroy for the first out of the third.
Yeah, that's a pretty good slider. He gets that wrist in a very good position and basically pulls straight down to create that tight rotation to get that sharp break. Tough to lay off as a hitter because out of the hand, again, that deception, it looks like a fastball coming out of the hand until you start that swing and then that quick snap away.
Verlander working again with Brian McCann, who came off the DL right in time to catch Verlander for his start in Texas. Now Brian's making his third start since coming off the DL. Twice Verlander's been on the mound. With this start today, McCann moves into the top 30 all-time in games caught. As a starter, 1,507. Breaking a tie with Darrell Porter, so BMAC now in the top 30 all-time. He's already in the top 10 all-time in putouts because he's caught so many strikeouts in his career.
And he's having the time of his life, too. Talking to him on the bus after the game, he loves his ball club. He loves showing up.
You know what it is with him, too? I go across the board, talk to the guys he played with in Atlanta, talk to the guys he played with in New York with the Yankees. Everybody loves him. But I think there's even more of an awareness now that let's make this as fun as possible because that's a lot of games logged on your knees.
Oh, he's been taxed over the years, absolutely.
He's already had his knees drained once, and you just don't know how many more go-rounds you have at this point. So you're right. He seems like he's having the time of his life. That he is going to try and make every day the best it can be and cherish that moment. Ball into left center field. They had the extreme shift on against Fowler, who wants it. Marwin calls off Kemp for out number 2.
He's also the president of the Alex Bregman fan club.
He is.
He loves him some A-Breg.
And think about all the great players he's played with. No, seriously. I mean,
he's
started out with
ball
Smoltzy and
yeah,
guys. He said there's nobody he's ever had been a teammate of before in his career that has enjoyed playing the game of baseball and everything about playing the game more than Alex Bregman. BMAC played with Jeter and all the Yankees. He just eats, breathes, sleeps baseball, and McCann loves that fact. Here's Marcus Semien. I don't know if that's something that happens for everybody, or you stop and smell the roses later in your career. Some guys grind it out to the end, but I definitely think he's.
No, he gets it. He understands the point he's at. And he also understands he has played on some very good teams. But when you've gone through the grind like you're talking about and get to a point where you're on a team where guys actually enjoy showing up and they enjoy the camaraderie, they look forward to seeing each other during, 184 days that they have to be stuck together just in the regular season and go to spring training together. That's saying something. Says something about the personality, not only of Brian McCann, but those around him.
It's a hard team to play on and not have fun.
But Ray Fosse, we had him on for an inning and a half, and we said 3 words because he was so excited about the team that was on the field. He loves the Astros.
0-2 pitch. Semien grounds one foul. You saw one of the biggest personalities just chilling out today. George Springer not in the lineup. Last time AJ gave George the day off, he faced Luis Severino and Aroldis Chapman in his 2 at-bats. So AJ was saying, I really hope to get him today completely off. Verlander trying to get through the 3rd after a leadoff hit by Stephen Piscotty. He has stayed there. A strikeout, a fly out now, an 0-2 pitch to Semien, and he waves and misses. Strikeout number 4 for Verlander as he finishes off the first 3 innings with a strikeout. It's 3-1 Houston.
Hey, fans, come check out.
Fourth, we're going to see Evan Gattis here. Became the first player in Astros franchise history to have consecutive 5 RBI games. And when he found out last night, he was taken aback and had a few minutes to think about it before meeting with the media in the clubhouse and said, I can't believe that no one's really done that. And he started rattling off some of the greats for the Astros who had put up big games in their careers, like Jeff Backwell, Craig Biggio, the list goes on. But he just couldn't believe that he was in the record books. He was so humbled and honored to have done something that no one has in this franchise, guys.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable run for Evan Gattis for a month plus now as he sends one towards left field, but Mark Canha is back there. The way he's been hitting everything that goes up off his bat at that launch angle seems like it's going to go out. But this one is playable for Canha for the first out of the fourth. All of a sudden, the Astros, Blummer, have great production from the DH role.
Yeah, that escalated quickly when Evan Gattis started to get going. And that's what A.J. Hinch wants to see. A little concerned through that month of April because Evan got off to such a slow start, but he has absolutely turned it on and become a complete force in that DH spot, much to the delight of A.J. Hinch.
It's becoming that lineup that we saw last year where there's the hoodie. Sunny and warm out, but Gaddy going back to the hoodie. But it's that 1 through 9. You know, when Gattis bats 6, Marwin 7, McCann 8, Kemp 9, you feel like you can get this thing rolling and keep it going. We've seen that the last couple of nights.
I know Tony Kemp's been a nice addition down there in the 9 spot, fighting through at bats, forcing pitchers to make pitches. And again, even though, you know, Marwin's not having a year like he did last year, Brian McCann probably isn't going to put up Brian McCann type numbers, but these guys are going to pitch to them as if they are those guys, because if they don't and they get a little laid back and relaxed on those guys, they're going to get hurt.
Marwin's starting to heat up a little bit too, and has hit well against the A's this year. Tripling his first at bat. Marwin batting over 400 against Oakland this season. Fouls one back here. It's 3-2. Frankie Montas giving up more runs in this start than any of his previous 3. Astros getting him for 3 today. He'd given up a total of 3 in his starts against Arizona and 2 starts against Kansas City.
A little bit different lineup.
I think Paul Blackburn learned that the hard way last night too.
All right, dig in. Watch the Astros in more ways than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
Here's Brian McCann hitting with the shift in place. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. McCann hit the ball hard his first time up, but with the infield in, Jed Lowry able to make a play. And get Marwin Gonzalez hung up between third and home. The irony is, with the shift here, if McCann hit the exact same ground ball, it'd probably be a base hit.
Yep.
Because
no doubt.
It would be right in between Lowry and Simeon.
And he hit it hard, too.
Right. Yeah.
And it's interesting you bring up the shifts, because that's one of the things in talking with Brian McCann. He wonders how long baseball can go. I'll get going.
If you have a shift and a guy hits one very far, it doesn't matter. Brian McCann hits a 2-run home run.
I've got breaking news, Todd.
What's that?
Big story.
What is happening?
McCann ball.
5-1 Astros on McCann's 5th home run of the year.
Good to see Brian McCann hitting that baseball over the heads of everybody, and that's definitely a way to beat that shift. He knows he's had some hits robbed over his career with that shift being employed. But the great Ted Williams said, if they're going to shift me, there's one way to beat it, and that's just hit it over everybody's head like Brian McCann just did.
Now Tony Kemp drills one to right field. That's down for a hit and all the way to the wall. Kemp digging for second. He will get there standing with a double. A walk, a 2-run home run, and now a double by Kemp, and the Astros, bottom of the order, getting the job done.
Yeah, that's a hanging fastball, isn't it? 94 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate, and Brian still has plenty of length in that swing to get through it and drive it out of Oakland Coliseum. It's good to see him getting on the board with that 5th home run, contributing. And you talked about the depth of this lineup, and that's what it creates. Creates opportunities down in the bottom portion of this lineup to go out and do some damage.
That feels good as McCann connects against Frankie Montas. Astros putting up 2 in the first, 1 more in the third, 2 more in the fourth. Well, their 2 big innings the last 2 nights have been the second inning, and usually that's the inning where the bottom part of your lineup is hitting. They scored 4 in the second on Tuesday and 7 in the second last night. Here's Alex Bregman batting for the 3rd time. Bregman in that leadoff spot with George Springer getting the day off. Coming in his 2 previous starts as a leadoff hitter last season, Alex was 2 for 6. Did you see that guy who was chasing McCann's home run? He was on a full sprint.
Oh, he had his head down. There was purpose behind the getting the knees up. He was Dorsey flexing.
If you were walking with a tray of sodas,
waffled,
and that guy starts chasing the home run,
just blown up.
It would have been ugly. It would have been an ugly collision because that guy was.
That would have been Bo Jackson over Bosworth right there in the tunnel.
There you go. 3-0 the count.
There's the drive by Brian McCann. Gets a healthy bounce. This gets past him and he says, nope, it's going to be mine. He gone.
Exit.
That was awesome. Yeah, what
was the StatCast speed?
He was up there around 28 feet per second.
That was near elite speed. 3-0 pitch inside. Alex Bregman draws a walk. Nothing new there. Bregman coming in with 40 walks on the season, now 41, leads the team in top 5 in the AL.
Now batting, number 27.
So Montas, who came in with a 1.25 ERA. StatCast's averages on the season for all hitters, an 88.2 exit velocity, and the sprint speed average is 27. Altuve steps to the plate, 2nd on the team in the sprint speed leaderboard. Only Jake faster than him. One thing I noticed looking at Altuve's numbers on the StatCast,
what do you got?
In the past, he's always been one of the luckiest hitters because his exit velocity hasn't been high. His speed beats out infield hits, and he hits a lot of those bloops that drop in. This year, he has been one of the unluckiest hitters.
True.
Which is shocking for him. The fact that he's a little bit more unlucky than average is shocking because usually he's way on the other side of the lucky average. Here's a ball hit hard. That's not going to be unlucky. That's a base hit into left field. Bases will be loaded for Carlos Correa as Altuve drills a single to left.
Got a little bit of a spray chart on Jose Altuve also. Some of the hot cold zones on the left hand side and then the spray chart on the right. A lot of people play him straight up. He only gets hits going the other way if he desperately needs to or if it's just an extra nasty pitch off the down and away zone. But if it's off speed or a fastball middle in, he's going to turn on it. That's one of those hot spots, especially down in the zone, that he finds incredibly easy to get the barrel to and yank into left field for a knock. And again, another hit with a guy in scoring position.
Carlos Correa bats with the bases loaded. 95 hits for Altuve, tying Gene Segura of the Mariners. All 3 games against A starters this series, the Astros have had at least one stretch of 5 straight reaching base. Last night it happened in the 2nd inning. The night before it happened in the 2nd inning. Today it's in the 4th, where 5 straight have reached base. Walk, home run, double, walk, and single. Correa still has that 0 in the grand slam column, looking for his first. And he's got a 2-0 count with a fastball pitcher on the mound. Carlos already with 2 singles, a run batted in, and a run scored today. Taking back that team lead for RBIs. He came in tied with Evan Gattis. Carlos hits it towards third. Chapman is there to second for 1, and they're able to turn a double play on Correa, and that'll end the inning. Astros score 2 though, and take a 5-1 lead into the bottom of the 4th.
Watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported devices. Save 50% now through Father's Day. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Bottom half of the 4th inning, Justin Verlander a couple of more runs to work with. It is a 5-1 game. Beautiful Thursday afternoon here in the San Francisco Oakland Bay area. We are in Oakland Coliseum today as the Astros try and stay perfect in this building this year. 3-game sweep back in May, looking for a 3-game sweep today. Jed Lowry struck out his first time up against Verlander. And Verlander, with a count of 1-1, has thrown 46 pitches so far, still in single digits with pitches outside the strike zone. 37 strikes of 46 pitches. One misses down and in. It's 2-1. It'll be Lowry, Chris Davis, and Matt Olson in this inning. Davis has accounted for the only run for the A's with a solo home run, and he's hit a home run in his last 3 at bats. Going back to last night's game. In the shift, Correa can't reach it, but Altuve's there, and a nice pick by Yuli on the other side. Carlos kept going for that baseball, and Altuve said, "Hey, I'm right here."
Standing right there. Made a good play out of it too, with the distraction flying in front of it. Shift can create some issues, but it also created an opportunity for Correa to try and make a play. But Altuve did a great job setting his feet, giving a pretty good throw over there to Yuli, who is now, I believe, 20 for 20 in the pick situation.
Perfect at first. Yuli having himself a season with the glove. Here's Chris Davis. First pitch swinging, fouls one back. Pretty good rip at that fastball.
It's pretty strategic placement for that microphone, too.
Verlander loves reading swings and loves the mental aspect of the head-to-head battle between pitcher and batter. And intrigued to see how he attacks this at bat with Davis hitting a home run against him his first time up.
Well, the nice thing is, and you can kind of look ahead in these orders, and I know that when they go through and have these scouting reports and the talks about how to get through lineups, they're going to pick out one or two guys in a lineup that they don't want to have beat them. Chris Davis is obviously one of those guys hitting in the middle of the order here for the Oakland A's. So it's interesting to see what Justin Verlander does to the guys in front of him. He doesn't allow anybody on base, so he faces guys like Chris Davis with nobody on base. If they do damage, it's solo damage.
He's been challenging him with fastballs, staying on the outer half this at bat. It's 0-2.
Well, I feel like sometimes when he does get heavy on the fastball, it's because he's in the head of the hitter. He maybe feels that the hitter might be sitting on the off speed, therefore trying to outthink him and bring the heat.
Davis hitting his 20th home run of the year in the second inning. Verlander has 4 strikeouts. He has ended the first 3 innings with a K. Here's the breaking ball and doesn't get a bite from Davis. It's 1-2. 105 home runs now for Davis since the beginning of 2016. Only other major leaguer with more than 100 home runs since the start of the 16 season is Giancarlo Stanton with 101. Tries a hold up and he goes around. Verlander picks up the strikeout on the breaking ball. That's 5 now for Justin and 2 outs in the 4th. It is time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Plummer said he only needed 1 clue. He could name that tune in 1 note. Buns in O Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Ashby.
Oh, yeah. I've got to explain this now, don't I?
I guess so.
Come on, swing at the first pitch. Swing at the first pitch. Make it out. Make it out.
Matt Olson can be aggressive up there. You guys were so, you and Julia both were like, oh, yeah, got this.
Should I won't make Julia explain this,
Yeah,
but
so Julia has to explain it?
Alan Ashby, who we used to work with quite a bit, and I even played here, and Ash was the first interview I ever did as a Houston Astro, so we go way back. But when he was a Toronto Blue Jay, gosh, he's got to swing at that. he was a talented catcher, good ball player, and up in Toronto, he was very appealing to the eye. And he had a special attribute that the office pool in Toronto, there we go.
You got a pop-up lover just in time. Alex Bregman puts it away. Thankfully, he could shade the sun.
But he had a particular attribute that was appealing to the female office pool in Toronto, and he earned that nickname for that particular asset.
And we're going to break in a 5-1 game.
Mr. Yuli Gurriel. Since his 40th birthday, he has been raking, again, that 40th birthday in quotations because a little bit of an inside joke in that clubhouse, but he has been raking 12 for 21 with 5 extra base hits. And again, every time he comes up with a runner in scoring position, it has the potential to be an RBI because Yuli Gurriel, on top of all those numbers, has been doing a great job in driving in runs too.
Yuli an RBI that first time up, and he hits one hard towards short. Even his outs are hard hit as Simeon makes the play for out number 1. I think this is the year we finally see Yuli bat 300. Last year he came so close. He got to that final game in Boston. Needed a hit in his final at bat and couldn't quite get there. But he's hitting 305 even with that ground out, and he just hits the ball so hard, so consistently. You think this year he'd probably be at 300 or higher.
Yeah, maybe he gets a little more lucky with some of those hits sneaking through, and it kind of gives you an idea, and it gives a lot of credit to Yuli to have that average exit velocity be so high. Tells you that even though he swings early in counts, he's picking on good pitches to hit that he can get the barrel to. But those are high quality ABs if you're going up there and hitting the ball that hard every time.
Here's the other thing about Yuli as Josh Reddick bats with a 1-0 count. On the sprint leaderboard that we were referencing earlier, he's up 0.7 from last year. Last year he was between 300 and 350 on the list of the major leaguers at 26.9, and now he's up to 27.6. He's right there with Josh Reddick and right below George Springer. His speed has increased this year, and that's helped him out on a couple of infield hits as well.
Well, that running speed should increase your chances of being lucky and maybe stretching some of those infield ground balls into hits every once in a while. That'll definitely help out.
He's been running better. He's having as much fun as he can possibly have, and he's hitting 305 right now.
And he's still adapting to the 162 game schedule too. That's not something he was used to when the Astros picked him up. And he said that that first official offseason in between his big league, for his first big league season and second season, he really made an emphasis on losing a little bit of weight, but actually getting that lower half a little bit stronger to carry him through such a grueling schedule that baseball can be.
That's a great point. It's a whole different schedule in Cuba, not only from the number of games, but from the time they arrive to the ballpark before a game and how much work they do leading into a game. And last year was Yuli's first full season at the big league level.
Yeah.
And he was learning as he went along. And I think this year he is probably in just a little bit better shape than even when they first signed him. And each year he's gotten in better shape, and now he's ready for the full grind of 162. Evan Gattis scares Alex Cintron a little bit in that first base coach's box. And the count's 1-1.
Evan Gattis has been swinging the bat well of late, and again early on, the picture on the left, that is early on in the season. This is a little more recent on the right hand side. He's shortened up a little bit, but the big thing at the waist on the left hand side, he's bent over a little bit more. And when you're bent over at the waist a little bit more, you have a tendency to go out and try and get the baseball a little bit early, and we saw a lot of check swings early from Evan Gattis. And the first move when you're bent over is that front shoulder will go flying. The picture on the right, he'll stay a little more upright, which you'll see the ball a little bit longer. And this shoulder up here has a tendency to fly a little bit quicker than normal. But he does a good job of staying on that front side here in recent days. Doing a great job, Evan Gattis. Just some minor tweaks to that swing, but I'm with A.J. Hinch in the sense that it's probably a little bit more of the mentality of Evan Gattis. Going out there and attacking it and seeing the ball first, and then seeing it in the zone again and being on the attack, thinking swing.
AJ actually used the phrase caveman approach today, saying that's when he's doing better, is when he goes after the baseball with that caveman approach and doesn't worry exactly where the bat plane is and how smooth that swing is. See the ball, hit the ball. The more he simplifies it, it seems like the better.
And again, sometimes you have to go back to what got you here. What got him here is white knuckling that thing and trying to destroy it. You know, when you start to clutter the mind a little bit with, oh, I've got to have my elbow here, I've got to get my bat here, all of a sudden that'll lead to 99 other problems. And then you just get back to basics and simplify like Evan Gattis has, and he seems that he is one of those guys that just wants to attack. Let him attack. Don't tamp that effort down. Let him go get it.
It's been quite a run for Evan. 14 RBIs already on this road trip. Swings and misses there as Montas comes back and gets a strikeout. That is the first strikeout for Frankie Montas today.
And I think we're starting to see the A's adjust and throw some more off speed off the outside corner to Evan Gaddis too, because he's been just destroying fastballs in.
Marwin Gonzalez.
That'll bring up Marwin. Marwin has tripled in walks, scored a run. The A's don't strike out a whole lot of hitters. They are second fewest strikeouts per 9 in the American League at 7.35, but a little surprising to look up and see the starter with no strikeouts, 1 out into the 5th. Paul Blackburn, yesterday's starter, didn't strike anybody out. Daniel Mengden, the starter here on Tuesday, only struck out 1. That was the first batter he faced, George Springer.
And that kind of goes to what we've been talking about. This offense on the road in these last 7 games have really looked like the team of last year. And a lot of what they did good last year was crush baseballs in the zone and lay off everything outside. Didn't chase too much. So the strikeout numbers early on were a little frightening, but they've made an adjustment here recently in the last month or so and cut down on those strikeouts, which have led to more base runners and more runs scored.
So against the 3A starter this series, the Astros have scored 19 runs and struck out 2 times.
Wow.
There's the Houstonian Daniel Mengden, who gave up 6 in 4 2/3. Walked 4 and struck out 1 in Tuesday night's game. Marwin chops 1 foul. It's 1-2. Crazy part is, before the Astros saw the A's, their pitching staff was doing just fine for about a 4-week stretch.
Yeah, they were doing good. The offense struggles a little bit, or the A's offense struggles here a little bit, but the pitching staff has definitely picked them up. But then the Astros showed up. So did some big numbers.
The A's could just stay outside the division, they'd be just fine. 24-11 on the year outside the AL West. Marwin takes a pitch low. Josh heading to second. Just a little bit of a squirt away from Jonathan Lucroy. Enough for Reddick, who's a very good base runner, to get to second base.
That tells you that Josh Reddick was anticipating. See how he gets that big secondary lead, and he was leaning as soon as he saw that ball, the trajectory go into the dirt. And a lot of good base runners will be able to pick the ball up out of the hand of the pitcher and see the trajectory heading down and anticipate that ball in the dirt. Good job by Josh.
Now he provides a runner in scoring position situation for Marwin with a 2-2 count. Marwin hitting over 400 on the season against the A's. Has been very good his last 8 games. Slices 1 foul. Marwin's last 8. He is 11 for 24. Slowly creeping that average up near 250.
Spoiled a pretty good pitch there too.
Montas and Lucroy having trouble getting together on this 2-2 pitch. Now the count's full.
Marwin's also done a good job of laying off some of those off-speed pitches down in the zone. He saw a ton of off-speed to start this season. Had a tendency to chase a little bit, but doing a good job, like the rest of the Astros, of laying off some of those pitches, spoiling a fastball away in that 2-2 count. Now he's got himself in a little bit better hitter's count, where I'm sure Montas wants to go out there and throw a strike. He's got left-handed hitting Brian McCann on deck.
Towards Lowry, a couple of big hops, and Marwin is out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th, halfway home. Astros lead at 5-1. Sportsnet is presented by Rooms to Go, where you get lowest prices every day and delivery is fast and easy. And by Ram Trucks, built to serve. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning from Oakland, California. Todd Kalish, Jeff Blum, Julia Morales. Glad you could join us as the Astros look for win number 8 in a row, with Verlander heading into the bottom of the 5th with a 4-run lead. Facing Matt Chapman, who popped up his first time up. Chapman now 10 for 19 on the homestand, has that average sitting at 251. Ahead of the count here, 2-0. Verlander so far has allowed 2 hits. He has struck out 5 and not allowed a walk. Two and 1. In the air foul. Always have to give it a look here in Oakland, but this one is drifting into the crowd. It's 2-2.
Like Hosey picked up some shades. Good move, making the adjustments.
He was the only one on the infield without him prior to that quick run to the dugout.
Well, I think part of the reason he did go get him is because that ball was popped up to the right side, and immediately that's where the sun is. So I'm sure he probably glanced up and figured out that he didn't want to be caught in that situation where he had to go over and try and pick up Yuli and shag a fly ball either in that shallow right field area, that shallow right field line area, and run straight into that sun.
Did you ever try a game with shades, or you just knew in warm-ups?
No, I did. You know what? I had them, and I never had a contract for them just because I knew I wasn't going to wear them all that often. But I had a game in Chicago against the Cubs, and I was wearing them, a bright day game because I play a ton of day games there. And I said, forget it. I'm going to try and wear them. And man, sure enough, I get what should have been a leisurely 2-hopper to my left, and I made the play, but I was anticipating catching the ball kind of in the palm of my hand, and it hit the heel of my glove. And I immediately said, so when I talk about when I'm playing defense and I'm trying to catch the baseball, I want to catch it. I literally want to catch that ball right here, because that's just kind of a spot for me where I know I can reach and grab, and that's where I caught most of the ground balls. But this one happened to hit me here in the heel, and I trapped it, made the play, and it just got in my head and said, forget it. I don't want these things. I felt like it threw off my depth perception and didn't hit me in the exact spot that I wanted it to be. So, you know.
One and done. Reddick made that play in right for the first out. Some people, same thing with golf. Some people can play with shades in golf, and some people throws them off.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've played golf with sunglasses on.
No?
Nope.
Either have I. I mean, I've tried it, but I don't. Gives me another reason to hit the ball.
I was just saying, maybe I could use it as a crutch. Blame it on the shades.
1-1 to count to Marcana. Astros trying to head out of town with a 7-0 road trip. 3 more to go on this, their longest road trip of the year. Verlander ahead 1-2. Last night it was a big lead handed over to Garrett Cole, who said after the game he couldn't remember having a 10-0 lead before. Tonight, not as big a lead, but Verlander with a 5-1 cushion in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Yeah, with all the offense that we've seen in the last 3 games, quietly Verlander's going out there today and pitching extremely well again.
Mixed in about the same number of sliders and curveballs today. And has been dotting up some fastballs all afternoon long. That one just missed outside. It's 2-2. Verlander makes his 11th start today in Oakland Coliseum, coming in with an ERA of 2.38. All these are regular season numbers. So the 17 scoreless innings in the Game 5s of 2012 and 2013's ALDS aren't factored into those numbers. In the most pressurized games, elimination games, we saw last year, Game 6 of the ALCS against the Yankees. As good as Verlander has been throughout his career, that's where he has been at his absolute finest. Ground ball underneath the glove of Bregman all the way to the corner. Marwin Gonzalez will play it back in, but that's a double for Marcana.
Alex gave it a pretty good effort, but since calling games for the Houston Astros, I've noticed that they do play their third baseman a little more off the line than standard offenses. I mean, standard defenses, a little closer to that 5.5 hole. But Alex Bregman is actually a luxury to have at third base because he does have such good range. Gets himself in a good position, in that ready position, up on the balls of his feet, and almost came up with that. And we know if he does come up with it, he has a tendency to have some pretty strong throws from that foul territory side.
Now Verlander will face Steven Piscotty, who singled his first time up. Piscotty swings and sends one to center field. Tony Kemp drifts back, still going back. He's almost to the warning track, makes the catch, and kind of stumbles a little bit onto the warning track for out number 2. Kemp seems to fight that the whole way.
Day games are a fight in Oakland, and then day games against Justin Verlander can be a fight too. Pitch by pitch, elevated fastball in the zone, and then comes back with the breaking ball up to Jonathan Lucroy, and then the wipeout slider. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Justin Verlander. Lucroy seeing 3 of the best pitches that Justin Verlander attacks hitters with.
I'd like to see where Justin pitches with our MD Anderson strike zone in play here to Jonathan Lucroy. And just missed with a fastball outside. Lucroy does have a career home run against Verlander in 4 at-bats. Top of the zone, fouled away. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Willie give him the same sequence. Even though he missed with that fastball off the plate, maybe he was trying to get that fastball in that location we just saw. And as a hitter, you'll remember that previous AB, and you'll say to yourself, if he comes at me fastball early in the count up, I'm going to be on the attack. Maybe that's why LaCroix chased at that fastball up. Does he go to the breaking stuff now that he's got that strike under his belt?
Yes, he does. Drops it in nicely for a strike. It's 1-2.
Thought about pulling the trigger, but a little more break, getting back down in the zone. Last time he got him with that power slider away. Does he do the same thing here?
One of the rare instances where McCann and Verlander did not want the same pitch, and so they'll reset the signs. Usually JV and BMAC work in sync together, think right along with each other. Here is the 1-2 pitch. It's a curveball again, and into center field. Tony Kemp is there, and he puts it away for the final out, stranding a runner on third base. We head to inning number 6. Astros lead 5-1. Oakland, Jeff Blum took a half inning to head out to the treehouse. That was back in May when the Astros were in town. May 7th through the 9th. That was a sweep. Blummer was playing a little billiards, hitting against the video machine there. A little virtual reality home run derby, and where'd he go again? Hey, Blummer. There he is.
I'm back. Sorry. Did you get nervous? I had to go get some popcorn, man.
Popcorn. They have fresh popcorn here.
If you say so.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you worry?
I wasn't worried, but
there was a little panic.
Last time you were gone a lot longer.
I was. I couldn't do that to you again.
Especially with Brian McCann batting.
Right. Get back just in case.
Just in
Never
case. Know. Every once in a while. I don't think we've had a Brian McCann ball 2 home run performance recently. So this time he pops one up. Third base side. Again, Chapman, he obviously doesn't like playing with sunglasses. He just doesn't like sunglasses, and it's cost him on a couple of pop-ups today.
You can't let that happen twice.
But like you were saying earlier, if you don't feel comfortable fielding grounders with sunglasses, what's your alternative? You got to go flips, right? Even
Find some flips. There's flip down somewhere in the vicinity of the Coliseum. But you can't do this. You can't do this to your team. You can't do this to your pitcher. You got away with it one time.
Ooh.
Wow, that left some. That is going to hurt.
It's collarbone.
A little bit of insult to injury.
He just never could find it.
Man.
So I wonder, it's got to be the reason. I'm guessing the same as you, is it's got to be a depth perception issue that he doesn't like wearing sunglasses. Every other infielder has had them on.
Yeah, and you just got to find a way. You can't go out there and keep doing that. I mean, even if it bothers you on the ground ball, at least you have them on your face, because if the ball gets popped up again, how is nobody running anything out to him?
they obviously.
If I'm Bob Melvin, I've got somebody in the dugout with a pair of sunglasses, and I'm running it to him right now.
But obviously, after the first one, they didn't do anything, so it's an issue that he just doesn't like playing with sunglasses.
Wow.
Here's Tony Kemp. He hits one on the ground. Diving attempt by Chapman. It's beyond him towards beyond third base. McCann will stay at second. Tony Kemp will have himself another hit. Now the Astros with first and second, nobody out, and back to the top of the order. We mentioned how this order has been flipping over well, and here we go again with the rally started by the 8-9 guys.
It's a nice little piece. Kind of a full swing off the end of the bat, but perfectly located down that third base line. Again, tough play for Chapman because he's playing in to protect against the possible bunt.
That was a good pitch by Montas.
It was.
A little two-seamer running away from Tony Kemp, and he was able to at least get enough of it to send it down the third baseline. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a fastball up high, and the A's have their first bullpen action of the afternoon going. Santiago Casilla begins to warm up. Twitter's an amazing thing.
It is amazing.
Somebody found a picture of you in an Expos uni with your flip downs on and the eye black.
Yep.
You don't see the eye black anymore. Sometimes they'll throw those little
stickers on there.
Yeah. 1-0 pitch is grounded towards Chapman. This one he fields cleanly, steps on the bag, throws high, and throws it over the head of Olson. That'll allow Kemp to get to third. Kemp being waved home. Olson's throw will be safe at home plate. Tony Kemp's speed flying around the bases, scores on the overthrow by Chapman, and the Astros lead 6-1.
What a slide. And again, you get these leads, and it allows Gary Pettis to be aggressive, but at the same time, if Gary Pettis is going to be aggressive, it's because you get a good jump and you're running hard. Good pick by Chapman coming across to step on the bag, get the first out, and then just airmails it, having himself a rough inning. And again, the foul territory coming into play here in Oakland, allowing Tony Kemp enough time to get around. But that slide at the end, sliding away from Lucroy and sneaking that hand over the plate, that was beautiful.
Lucroy's glove was down, and Kemp with the evasive slide going around the tag.
That was awesome.
That is a last-second adjustment while sliding head first. Here's Jose Altuve. Tough inning for Matt Chapman as he's made 2 errors in the inning. And Altuve rips one. Fair ball all the way to the corner and left. Alex Bregman will trot home. Altuve with an RBI double. And the Astros now lead this game 7-1.
Altuve aggressive on that pull side. Fastball up, in off the plate, running in. That's that two-seamer that kind of flattened out, but Altuve with the quick hands barrels it up. The Astros are relentless. You give them a couple of errors, give them a couple of extra outs, they're going to take advantage.
If you're wondering why Bob Melvin's been so hesitant to go to the bullpen, their starters haven't given him any innings at all this series.
No, you're exactly right. That bullpen has been abused.
4 2/3 out of Mengden on Tuesday. 1 1/3 last night. His bullpen needed to soak up 6 2/3 innings. Excuse me, 7 2/3 innings last night, and one of those innings came from a position player, Jake Smolinski. So Montas has had to wear it a little bit as the Astros have scored 7 runs and threatening for more. In this series, the starters have allowed 6, 8, and now 7 runs. Astros bats are just absolutely on fire right now, and that's without Evan Gattis contributing today, who had 10 RBIs the last 2 games. Only Gattis and Alex Bregman have not had a hit in this game, and Bregman's reached via the walk. Everybody who rubbed Gattis's helmet the last couple of nights for good luck, it's paying off.
Yep.
But maybe they took the charm away from Evan. 3-0 the count to Correa. Carlos already with 2 hits today. And a 4-pitch walk. Montas didn't give Correa anything good to hit, and that might be the last batter that Frankie Montas will face. Bob Melvin, a slow walk out of the dugout, and he will go to the bullpen. Santiago Casilla will come in to pitch for the A's. Another tough start for Oakland in this series as Montas gives up 7 and responsible for the 2 on base. It's 7-1 Astros. Take on the Royals. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Yuli gnome with troll hair. For more information and tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. Astros will be home a lot heading into the All-Star break. There is the shot Golden Boy found. Deeger.
That's ages ago too. Back when they still made flip downs apparently. But yeah, I just did because I had to. I didn't want to be left out there without any kind of ability to knock that sun down.
Chapman being tested this inning. This time he gets 1, and Yuli safe at first base. We mentioned Yuli running better this year. That's the ball that last year may have been a double play. Santiago Casilla 1 pitch and 1 out. Almost got a double play out of it.
What's great is Yuli puts his head down, motor, and still able to beat it out.
Number 22.
That extends ABs, it extends innings, it puts pitches on pitchers, it forces them to face another hitter in this lineup. There's so many good things that happen when you hustle.
Now Reddick, who already has 1 run batted in on the game. Chance here with first and third and 2 outs. Takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Josh 2 for 3 with that RBI in the first inning. Bounces in there, and a great block by Lucroy to save another run from scoring. Astros with 11 hits today. Reddick fouls one away. Double-digit hits for the Astros in all 3 games in this series. Doing most of the damage against the starters. Three and 1 the count to Reddick with Evan Gattis waiting on deck. Gattis a 5 RBI game on Tuesday, a 5 RBI game last night. First time that's ever happened in franchise history. Reddick on the 3-1 pitch, fouls one back. It's 3-2.
He's got a couple of good fastballs to hit. Just under him a little bit.
Reddick's lone hit against Casilla is a home run. 1 for 4 in his career. Yuli was off with a 3-2 pitch and 2 outs. Multi-head games for Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Josh Reddick, Tony Kemp. All with 2 hits. Marwin has a triple. Brian McCann has a home run. Five-year anniversary. Hanging out with the Astros here in Oakland.
Congrats.
Yuli getting a workout off again, and this time Reddick puts it in play in the center field. Now drifting towards left. It'll be the left fielder Canna who makes the play for the final out of the inning. But the Astros add 2 more to their lead and give Verlander a 7-1 lead heading to the bottom of the 6th.
Here in Oakland today, it's made such an impact on this Astros club, going back to the day that he showed up in that Astros uniform, and the starting pitching staff really enjoys him being in there. They bounce ideas off of each other, constantly talking about ways to get hitters out, working with each other. Garrett Cole, who went last night, talks a lot about the impact that Justin's had on him and the ideas that he's come up with, things that Garrett hasn't even thought about before. They watch a ton of film together. That's what they're doing. If you don't see them in the dugout, they're usually upstairs watching some more film, getting ready for their next start. And I talked to Charlie Morton about this, who we'll see in a couple of days. And him and Garrett go way back for their days with the Pirates. So when Garrett showed up as an Astro, he immediately went to Charlie, was asking him about what's it like in the Astros organization, what are they going to tell me, and Charlie gave him some insight, but he's like, you know what, I'm just really glad that you're going to be with Justin Verlander. I think you could learn a lot from Justin. I think he could have, he could do a lot for you as far as advice and things. They're very similar as far as pitching styles go too, but it's turned out to be true. These guys are working together. They are a team within the team, helping each other out, and they've looked really good all season long, TK.
You're right about that. Justin Verlander has made an impact on the field, obviously, with what he's done in his starts as an Astro, but off the field and what he has meant to this pitching staff as a leader in that clubhouse too, and just a guy that has elicited more conversation amongst all 5 of them about how to get guys out and how to approach situations and reading bats during game. I mean, it seems like there's more conversations now than maybe before we saw Verlander arrive here.
Yeah, conversation's always good. It's good to have that outside perspective or those outside eyes on somebody, because it's interesting when you're in the league and you're playing. You have a tendency to watch games all across the board and nitpick guys and try and see what they're doing that's making them effective, or what you feel that they could be doing better even. And then all of a sudden you find yourself on the same team and you start to have that conversation, and guys will ask, they'll say, hey, what have you seen when you were facing me? Have you ever seen anything different in my delivery that you might be able to make an adjustment to? Or have you ever had this problem and how did you deal with it? There's so much to be learned because this game is so hard and you're playing it every single day. It's good to have that insight.
Good catch by Yuli Gurriel, fighting the sun in foul territory. 2 quick outs for Justin in the 6th. And Garrett Cole coming over here to the Astros. Speaking of they, as the Astros say, here are the top 15% of the 4 seams you've thrown in your career. And if you can strive to chase that, you don't have to hit spots as much. You can just attack the zone in those areas and let that fastball eat. Just attack the zone.
Yeah, we've talked plenty about that 2-seam and 4-seam fastball for Garrett Cole, and he has gotten on that 4-seam fastball, and it has been incredibly effective.
Marwin gives it a chase, was dodging Oakland relievers and water coolers and chairs, and ended up not being able to make the play.
Now, there's a lot going on down these foul lines once you get into that bullpen area.
Thankfully, he came out of it okay. Didn't quite have a chance to get to that baseball. Well, think about Jeff Luhnow. He just celebrated his birthday this past weekend while we were in Texas, so belated happy birthday, Jeff. He's sitting there maybe toasting his birthday and thinking, a year ago at this point, I didn't have Justin Verlander, I didn't have Garrett Cole, and he was able to go out there, and he traded some valuable pieces in the organization, but not his super elite prospects in the organization, and was able to get 2 guys that are right now 2 of the top choices for A.J. Hinch to start the American League All-Star game.
And again, a World Series champion doesn't normally go out and get better. And the Astros did, especially in the rotation.
Verlander ahead of Lowry 0-2.
My goodness. Kind of sounds like when you're out playing catch, Todd. That skillet you go out with.
Imagine if someone's wrapping up their day of work and they have the volume on super low so their boss can't hear.
Yeah, then bonk.
Oh, what was that?
Nothing to see here.
Sorry, just dropped the pen.
Yeah. My 35-pound pen.
JV trying to get through this inning. He has picked up a lot of fly ball outs today. 5 strikeouts. $11 fly ball outs. Swing and a miss, ends another inning with a strikeout. 6 strikeouts for Verlander, 4 of them have ended innings, and it is 7-1 heading to the 7th. your spirit. Use hashtag UltimateSWFanARK on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. So tweet now and win big. Evan Gaddis takes a pitch. That misses the zone. It's 1-0. Santiago Casilla in his first full inning of work picked up the final 2 outs of the 6th inning behind Frankie Montas, who allowed 7 runs on 11 hits in 5 1/3 innings. Evan looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. Ground ball, a fly out, and a strikeout. It was the only strikeout that Montas picked up in 5 1/3 innings. Ended up walking 4 batters today. Had a good 3-game stretch coming into today with a 1.25 ERA, but the Astros put up 7 on him today. Evan didn't think that last pitch was a strike, but it was called a strike. It's 1-2. Third baseman in there for the A's. Chad Pinder now playing third as Matt Chapman made a couple of errors last game. This ball sent towards the hole in short. Simeon knocked it down but couldn't field it cleanly, and that'll be a base hit for Evan Gaddis.
There's Chad Pinder at third base. Probably a couple of things contributing to the fact that he's in that ball game. Chapman missing 2 pop flies today. That second one squared him up in the collarbone pretty good.
Pinder now makes it all. Sunglasses on the infield. Checked with the A's broadcasters in between innings, and they said he just, what we suspected, just not comfortable wearing the shades out there. So it wasn't a matter of running the shades out there. Just something Chapman prefers not to play with. But on this day, it proved to hurt him a little bit, not finding a couple of pop-ups. One extended an at bat by Yuli Gurriel. The other one allowed Brian McCann to reach base. 7, 8, 9 hitters getting it done today. Marwin, another base hit. 2-hit game today for Marwin. Gaddis goes to second. The Astros keep piling on the hits. That's now 13 of them.
We got a power player. It's presented to you by TXU Energy and my boy Brian McCann, veteran catcher out there, still able to turn around 95 miles an hour, setting these A's fans running.
Marwin's afternoon is over. Jake Marisnick takes over at first base.
Now batting number 16.
Marwin ends the day 2 for 3, and he has continued to hit well against the A's, and really over his last 8 games, Marwin batting close to 500. Now 12 for 26 in his last 8 games. Here's Brian McCann. Broken bat, short hop by Lowry. Jake had to hold up. They'll get the out at second, and now a high throw, and Gaddis is out at third. Strange looking double play. The Astros have hit into some strange double plays over the course of the last week and a half, and a lot of double plays. That was getting the out at second first and a high throw, but they were still able to get Gaddis.
It's not too often you see a 4.65 DP. Keep an eye on Gary Pettis, because that's what I'm going to take a peek at with this play going on. I was going to be curious to see if Gary Pettis was telling him to get down, and didn't really see anything. That was a tough call for Evan Gaddis to try and figure out what was going on and why the ball was being thrown his way.
So McCann reaches base and hits into a double play. Here's Tony Kemp.
That's rather unique.
Yeah. Astros have hit into 2 more today. Seems like 80% of their games recently, they've hit into at least 2 double plays. Had a streak of 6 out of 7 games. Didn't hit into 2 last night. Now hitting into 2 this afternoon. Tony Kemp with a count of 1-1. Kemp with 2 hits today and 3 at bats. Tony has that average over 300. He's at 306 after batting 335 this year for the Fresno Grizzlies. Getting a lot of playing time since being called up. Starting 21 of 25 games since his recall. Two and two the count.
Yeah, you really get the sense the more Tony plays, the more comfortable he's getting here in this lineup for the Astros.
Tony will probably shift over to left field with Jake Marisnick pinch running for Marwin Gonzalez. Tony playing the first 6 innings in center. Down and in at 3 and 2, so Brian McCann with 2 outs gets a head start. McCann's been on base 3 times, but actually he's been on base all 4 times and has only 1 hit. Reached on a fielder's choice, reached on an error, and reached on a double play. 1 hit was a home run. So he's been on the base paths a lot this afternoon. Remember our straw poll today, the Hall of Fame legend for the A's. Which one should Julia be if she runs in the race? So we got to try that out today.
She what?
Yeah, she got to try out. You may check that out as this broadcast continues. There's a little flare towards left and a nice play by Marcus Semien to end the inning. Couple of hits, 1 man left on base. 7th inning stretch time. Astros leading 7-1, and we'll turn it over to Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton in our Rooms to Go lounge.
But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Ricky being Ricky. Ricky Henderson, the greatest of all time. And today in our Chevy Stroh poll, the winner of Who Should Julia Morales Run As in the A's Legends Hall of Fame race. Chevy Stroh poll. And Ricky gets 50% of the vote to win. Raleigh Fingers 38% and Eck with 12.
50% of the time, Ricky wins.
Ricky Henderson Field. As Chris Davis, who has accounted for the only run for the A's with a solo home run, pops one up. Does Yuli see it? Nope. Yuli doesn't see it. Who has to get it? Reddick will track it down. A little pop fly double off the bat of Chris Davis. We have seen Matt Chapman have problems with a couple of pop-ups, and this one Yuli had trouble with.
Now batting first baseman.
And Kelly Leak, I mean, Jose Altuve was coming over to help him out, but I just don't think that he was able to call off Yuli because Yuli was camped underneath it. Gave the impression to Jose Altuve that Yuli had it under control, but didn't work out that way. Gave that a hit.
Yeah, it's pop. It's
all right.
Sunfly. It's one of those like.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
I mean, Chapman wasn't given an error on the foul ball. He did get an error on the one that hit him in the shoulder.
Right in the neck.
Tough hit for Justin to give up. Only the 4th hit allowed. Go down in the books as a double for Chris Davis. Should have been the first out. Matt Olson's popped up a couple of times. Well, normally Altuve takes charge of those, but that one was almost directly over first base, so Altuve just kind of drifted off when the ball first went up in the air, and then about halfway there he realized Yuli was having trouble as Olson crushes one to right, and this ball is gone for a 2-run home run. Matt Olson hits his 14th of the year and makes it a 7-3 game. That's the same guy that chased the Brian McCann ball down the hallway who makes that catch. Ball left the yard in a hurry.
Yeah, that ball was hit well. Matt Olson guessed right. He got a good pitch to drive. Those hands dangling out over the plate and a hanging break while center cut. Olson has a tough time catching up to the heat, but that one was a good one to hit, and he got it. And that's our good friend here in Oakland, Dave, knocking that one down. Oh, he's the one chasing down Brian McCann's baseball.
Obviously, Verlander frustrated with the pitch. You could see him hop off the mound as soon as that pitch left the bat of Olson. Also frustrated it was a 2-run home run as that pop-up couldn't be handled and went as a double. Now it's 2-0 to Chad Pinder, who bats for the first time. That's just Olson's 2nd hit of the year against the Astros in 33 at-bats. Pinder taking over for Chapman, bats for the first time and fouls one away. It's 2-1. Chad coming in batting .236, 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Back through the middle, Correa off the mound, throws off balance in time to get Pinder for the first out of the 7th.
This week on Astros Bases Loaded, Alex Bregman shares his passion for the game. The Express gets a spot on the Houston Sports Walk of Fame, and he'll meet the Astros' first-round draft pick. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded tonight after the post-game show, only on AT&T Sportsnet.
Deep breath for Justin, getting ready to make his 90th pitch of the game. First pitch to Canna is a called strike. Canna has a double in 2 at-bats.
See the Houston Chronicle headline on our #1 draft pick.
So many ways you can go with it.
What's that?
So many ways you can go with it.
Yeah, they did a good job with it. And the first-round draft pick, for those of you who haven't been watching any of the draft and hearing about it, Seth Beer out of Clemson is the #1 pick for the Houston Astros. He was on with our guys on the pregame yesterday after announcing his signing, and the Houston Chronicle came out with a headline that said Beer is on tap for Tri-City. Well played.
Well done.
So he will be starting his minor league journey to the show.
Pitch hits Canna. 0-2 pitch. And he'll be a 1-out base runner. He went from a draft beer to beer money.
Man, you ain't lying. I like it.
Second down in the bullpen, and they may get action up for the first time, and they will.
I think we heard a rumor his nickname is Brew.
It's going to be a very, very popular jersey.
Oh, my. That is the truth.
If he ever becomes an Astro. Hopefully he does. #1 pick. Won the Dick Hauser Award as a freshman out of Clemson. Collegiate Player of the Year. That's never happened before. Stephen Piscotty with a count of 1-0. Chris Davinsky warming up, and you look ahead, and Dustin Fowler is a lefty hitter at the top of the lineup. That could be the guy that he's warming up for in this 7-3 game. Verlander trying to get through the 7th without it getting to the top of the order, as he's facing the #8 hitter Stephen Piscotty with 1 out and 1 on. Two and 1 to count. The A's 3 runs today have all come on home runs. Yesterday, all 5 of their runs came on home runs. All right, their last 8 runs scored in this series have all been with the long ball, as Piscotty fouls one away. It's 2-2. Piscotty was in that mix with a 3-run home run last night against Garrett Cole. A's starting the day at an even 500. Started the year 5-10, made a little run to get back close to 500, and have never been more or less than 3 games over or under 500 ever since. Foul tip caught by McCann, and that will be a strikeout of Piscotty. Strikeout number 7 for Verlander, 2 outs in the 7th. On the road, they are hitting home runs. Nobody has more road home runs than the A's, but at home it's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's crazy. With that offense dropping, the ERA's actually gotten a little bit better too, but that's a bad combination when the ERA drops and you can't score that many runs. Currently playing 500 baseball at home.
30 home runs in 4 more games played than the 55 home runs on the road. Three and a half runs per game at home, 5.3 runs per game on the road. Sounds familiar, although
yeah, we've heard that, haven't we?
The Astros numbers are a little bit higher in both categories, but still the discrepancy sounds similar. Jonathan Lucroy bats. He has struck out and flied out. Justin will be making his 99th pitch, and this could very well be his final batter. Not because of the pitch count, just through 7 innings. If he can get through it. A few up downs. Seen him throw as many as 118 pitches in a start.
Hasn't been one of the more stressful outings for Justin Verlander, so that 100 pitch count not as taxing probably.
That ball's hit hard. Reddick is there though and catches it on the line for the final out of the 7th. Lucroy hit it hard. A's scored 2, and Julia Morales will be back a little bit later on in the broadcast, and she'll be getting ready for the next time in town. We'll tell you more about that when we come back.
and the Royals. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive an Astros fedora presented by Goya. For more information and tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. Look as cool as Correa. He hasn't worn one of those in a while.
He's got a chance to get a free one now.
He used to wear them on the plane all the time.
New pitcher for the A's is the right-hander just acquired recently from the Blue Jays, Carlos Ramirez.
Fastball slider guy.
And drilled to left field. Alex Bregman bids for a hit, but he hits it too close to the left fielder Mark Tanna, and he's out number 1.
There's Carlos Ramirez wearing number 61 for the Oakland A's. Talked about the fastball slider combination. He comes in there at 92 miles an hour. 3 games he's pitched so far. Whip is not good, but the ERA is at 2.08.
27-year-old who was claimed off waivers by the A's on May 20th from the Blue Jays and then optioned to AAA Nashville. Pitched a few games with the Blue Jays earlier this year, and this will be his second game with the A's in 2018. Jose Altuve, 2 hits, a walk. He's been on base 3 times, and he's 2 for 3. Altuve has that road batting average back up over 400, the best in baseball. Down on the count 0-2. Astros lead this game 7-3. We showed you going to break. Julian Morales was checking out the Legends Hall of Famers here. The Oakland A's have that race during night games with Eckersley, Ricky Henderson, Raleigh Fingers. That was our stroll poll today. Ricky won. How was that checking out? You had a little tryout today, right, Julian?
Yeah, I needed to qualify.
Was there a time, or did you just have to finish standing up?
You're right. Just don't fall. I just had to prove that I could wear it and then run. I don't know if you call what I did running, but jog. We'll go with that.
Are you going to be able to participate? Did you pass the audition?
I think so. I'm
Wow,
still waiting
super
for
excited.
yeah, I'm still waiting for confirmation. I'm crossing my fingers.
So we may find out on
I
our
didn't
flight to
fall.
Kansas City.
When's the
Yeah.
press conference?
There's a big review session. Ground ball towards Olsen at first. What was the key for you in being able to accomplish this today?
I was gonna say the committee's going through what it takes right here. Okay, so this head part of the suit weighs about 50 pounds. And you need help. I can't do any of this on my own. I had to be in full uni, of course, so they got me some baseball pants, some green socks from the clubhouse. And then I have to be dressed. The hardest part is standing up and then taking those first few steps.
That's you.
Opposite of what
That's
it
me.
should be.
Oh, goodness, and I'm mic'd up. It was a lot more difficult than I thought, guys. A little top heavy. I have 0 fun.
Don't laugh at me.
Who's laughing? You're laughing
Earl
at yourself.
Patterson, our producer,
Amazing.
was belly laughing at me.
So you actually ran on the track?
I did. So it took a while. You know, you just have to walk and then
You
take
know what?
longer
I'm gonna be
strides.
out of
And then I
breath
got to the point where I could
real
jog.
quick.
Carlos Correa takes a strike. It's 1-2.
How do you floss
And
with
dance.
his head on?
Is that a floss?
It was an attempt. So with the head on, you realize that everything is more difficult.
Swing and a miss. Impressive inning right there by Carlos Ramirez, getting Bregman, Altuve, and Correa, striking out Correa. Bregman hit the ball hard, but a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th, 7-3. First 7 innings of 5-hit, 3-run baseball. He and Garrett Cole discussing his outing today. Justin would not walk a batter, hit 1, struck out 7, it allowed a couple of home runs. I think that last home run will frustrate him a little bit.
Yeah, and still not a high-stress situation. He was going out there trying to just rack up innings to get to this bullpen. He will be disappointed with a couple of those pitches, but I think those are going to be some easy adjustments for him as Devo steps in relief. 27 times he's done it this season, has a good record at 2-1. That 1.75 ERA is beautiful also.
Fowler, first pitch swinging, sends Tony Kemp back. Tony shielding his eyes and makes the play for out number 1. Catch a great ballpark bargain with the Coca-Cola Ballpark Bundle. The bundle includes a ticket, a hot dog, a soda, and popcorn, all for just $20. Visit astros.com/ballpark bundle for tickets and info. 1 out in the 8th on 1 pitch from Chris Davinsky, and now he'll face Marcus Semien. Semien 0 for 3 today. Pitch misses outside for a ball. Verlander trying to improve to 9-2 on the year, with the Astros leading 7-3. Garrett Cole last night improved to 8-1 on the season. Lance McCullers also has 8 wins, and Charlie Morton has 7. Astros kick off a series with the Kansas City Royals tomorrow night. Ball hit towards third. Bregman has it on the move, makes the throw on the money, and that's out number 2. Oh, Davinsky's come in and picked up a couple of quick outs against the number 1 and 2 hitters in the lineup. Tomorrow, Charlie Morton will be on the mound against Jacob Junis. And Charlie coming off a rough outing. We'll get the ball first, and then Dallas Keuchel and Lance McCullers Jr., and that rounds out the 10-game road trip. And then the Astros are home for 19 out of 25 games leading into the All-Star break.
And then
the schedule's not quite as good after the All-Star break.
And then you have no idea what movie I'm going with right now?
No, help me out.
Dude, where's my car?
Oh, sorry.
Couldn't help it. I heard you say "and then," and it just triggered something inside of me that you say it again and again and again.
0-1 to count to Lowry.
It's where I'm at right now.
Lowry with an 0 for 3 day. Struck out a couple times and grounded out. I'm going to assume that movie, not being an aficionado, was set in California.
Yeah. Good guess.
Thanks. 1-2 the count.
One of those classics you should really watch on the plane. If you're allowed to rent it for free.
Julie, what did Charlie say about struggling last outing?
Charlie said a lot about struggling last outing.
All right, maybe not with 2 outs and 2 strikes. I might have to get back to you. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. He's going to start the first game against the Royals, but he was in only Charlie Morton philosophy. We'll talk about it next inning. He had a great answer for Julia as Davinsky picks up a strikeout in a 1-2-3 inning. visit from his buddy Jake Marisnik. But we will continue on in the 9th inning as Jake and George talk with Charlie Morton starting the first game in Kansas City, coming off a very difficult outing in his last start in Texas. And Julia, what did he have to say about that start?
Yeah, he was pretty frustrated after that, talking about how some of those pitches were just not competitive. And at that point, we heard the quote from him saying borderline embarrassing for him. But he said, just got to work on my delivery. He's pitch to pitch. He felt like at times in that last start, he just had no idea where the pitch was going. Stuff was there. Other than that, I mean, he's felt good all season long. So it was that, I think that was the most frustrating part for him. But he also, stopped and thought about it for a second. He said, you know what? It's not the worst thing that could ever happen to me because, throwing poorly every once in a while makes you stop and forces you to reevaluate, make some adjustments. So that's how Charlie is looking at it, which is truly Charlie.
Do you think it just dawned on him in the middle of that media session? Yes.
It did.
Well, hopefully he'll turn it around tomorrow. He's the guy that you don't really worry about carrying one start to the next because he is so kind of mild-mannered and easygoing.
And a veteran, too, so he's going to make those adjustments that Julia's talking about. But you play in this league long enough, you're going to have some games that you not necessarily regret, but you're not very proud of. And that was one of those games for Charlie, and he recognized it in only the way that Charlie Morton can go about talking about it. That's what makes it kind of entertaining to us, to say the least.
Yuli pops up to Marcus Simeon. Didn't catch that exactly in the pocket. On this high sky on the pop-up. Well, Julie, a lot of fans are looking forward to the possibility of you running in that Legends Hall of Fame race coming up in August.
I am too. I feel like I need to train for it. Maybe hold some weights over my head while I run next time.
Josh Reddick hits it hard, but Lowry is there. That'll be out number 2. How can you train for wearing a large head?
No, that's what I'm
to go to like Easter Island.
Hold weights over my head and take off running.
Oh, I see. Are you okay?
Eckersley.
You just take a jog with Altuve. You can hold Altuve above your head.
Oh, I wish I could explain that to you guys. I used muscles I didn't know I had.
Yep, talk about engaging the core.
Right.
You gonna be a little sore?
Upright. Oh yeah, I'm already sore. Had to borrow some painkillers already.
The hands, perfect.
Let's not tell anybody where you got those, okay, Julia?
Okay.
The little hands with the big head and the big body. That is so good. Evan Gaddis takes one from.
I run every day, and I didn't think I would look so funny running, but man.
You couldn't help it.
I was going to say, you can't help it when you put that thing on.
I can't even watch myself. Oh, don't ever take yourself too seriously in life, okay? That is my.
And definitely find a job that you have fun doing.
The good news is your Instagram's blown up over the last 2 days. Gaddis fouls one into the crowd.
Yeah, she was popular to begin with, and even more so now. Oh, go get it, girl.
That looks like a pretty good pace right there.
I couldn't even watch.
Why not?
I got better. I did get better.
And you didn't fall once.
It's because you put your weight on one foot and the weight of the head goes the opposite direction. So it's a fight with all those muscles in your core.
How long is this race if you qualify?
Too long.
We'll be back here in August. So that's.
Do we have to alter the insurance policy we travel with?
That's a 2-month teaser.
They didn't make me sign anything. They probably will.
I would say, and it'll be insurance on the actual costume instead of you.
We're back here in 2 months and 3 days. That is a long time for Julia to get ready for the race.
There she goes.
And she's off.
Just getting started.
How, could you see out of that thing?
No.
So you're just staring out the throat of
straight.
Dennis Eckersley?
Here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about one of the Astros messing with you.
Oh, they're going to catch wind of this. Yeah, that's true.
Good inning. Actually, a good couple of innings for Carlos Ramirez as he retires all 6. We head to the bottom of the 9th in a 7-3 game. Places by Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. And by T-Mobile, show your military appreciation and use hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. Bottom of the 9th inning, Astros looking to complete this sweep. Also looking for their 8th win in a row. And also looking to start this road trip 7-0. Hector Rondon takes over in the bottom half of the 9th inning, facing Chris Davis.
Some of the numbers on Hector: 27 games. He does have 3 saves, and that's the last time we saw him was in Texas when he picked up that 3rd save. He went an inning, struck out 3 Rangers in 16 pitches.
Picked up 3 saves last week. This will not be a save situation in a 4-run game. Facing Chris Davis, Matt Olson, and Matt Chapman. Davis and Olson have accounted for the Oakland runs in this game. A solo home run by Davis, a 2-run home run by Olson after Davis reached on a pop fly Sunfield double that Yuli Gurriel couldn't find in the sky, and ended up costing the Astros a run as he would score on the home run. Rondon ahead 1-2. You saw Hector has good numbers against this right-hand hitter. Tough day for Yuli, tough day for everybody trying to catch pop-ups. Saw Matt Chapman miss a couple. Down and away, it's 2-2. Verlander goes 7 today. Lance McCullers went 7 to start this series, and Garrett Cole went 6. Foul tip caught by McCann. Rondon strikes out Chris Davis for the first out in the 9th.
Some teams that have been pretty good on the road, and teams to win 25 of the first 36 back-to-back seasons all time. The Astros doing it in 2017 and 18. Then you go back to 06, 07, that's of the 1900s, and then 08, 09 of the 1900s to catch the Cubs and Pirates doing it. Most recently done by the Chicago White Sox in 1953 and 54. But the Astros with that 27-9 record, pretty good.
They are back on pace to win more games than they did last year when they won 101. Playing in their 70th game today. One of the big differences in this series, obviously the offense for the Astros came alive. 12 hits on Tuesday, 14 hits last night, and 13 hits today. So 39 hits in the 3-game series. Evan Gattis with a couple of 5 RBI games, but also AJ's been able to use his bullpen the way he's wanted to, whereas Bob Melvin has had to kind of figure out how to get through these games. AJ has had his starters go 20 innings in their 3 starts. Only needed the bullpen for 7 innings on the other side. Bob Melvin's crew has needed 16 2/3 innings out of their bullpen, as their starters have not gone very deep in any of their 3 starts. And we're down to the final out for the A's with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Now it's a game between Keuchel, Lance, and Garrett Cole of who can flip the most sunflower seeds into the cups before the end of the game.
Good times.
Keuchel seems to have the most attempts.
How about Garrett Cole going left-handed?
Somebody's over there too. It's the entire rotation that didn't start today.
Always working on their accuracy.
Pinpoint control.
It's all about location.
Lance didn't seem like he was participating. If Lance threw one, it would be a curveball.
Yeah, he'd have to work on that trajectory.
Chad Pinner gets his second at bat. He grounded out his first time up. All right, Charlie's had enough.
Hit the
No, he's checking out to see who's got the most.
Oh, I'm kind of hoping he'd just take a left arm and swipe both cups and just send them flying.
Charlie was the scorekeeper. It's 1-1. Fun at the ballpark. And when you're winning like this, an 8-game winning streak, 1 out away from that. It's even that much more fun. Astros also trying to win their 8th in a row against Oakland. Towards the hole, Correa backhands, long throw, and the sweep is completed on a great defensive play by Carlos Correa. Astros, before they can celebrate, are going to wait to see if Bob Melvin wants to challenge. He does not. Ball game over. Astros have won 8 in a row. They win today 7-3, and Blummer, they finish with an exclamation point.
Yeah, all the damage being done on the offensive side, and leave it to Carlos Correa to go out there and make a defensive gem to get the Astros out of here. Nice backhand, throwing it back across his body, and a good, guess what, another pick by Yuli Gurriel.
Perfect on the season for Yuli and picks, and Correa could lounge in the sun, basking in the glow of an 8-game winning streak. The Astros are 7-0 on this road trip. They have won 8 in a row as they sweep the A's and will head to Kansas City riding a strong wave. It is 7-3 Astros today. We'll have more with the postgame show coming up after this.